Whew. It's been a day so far, guys. So as you can tell, I'm working from home today, and it's a little bit different look than what you're probably used to. Been in the studio for most of the videos, but I wanted to change it up, and also because I've been doing a lot more work from home. I wanted to make more content, so be prepared for more of these porch videos. And as you can tell, I'm on the porch, birds chirping, dogs barking in the background. I don't know whose dog it is, but that dog will not stop barking. That being said, let's talk about what I wanted to talk about in today's video. And in today's video, strangely enough, it's inspired by dogs. The latest project that I'm working on is a coloring book called Bully Beach, which is for all of my lovers of American bulldogs. And what I found out is they're very muscular dogs, so I got the idea to do them on a Muscle Beach type background or setting, and I think that's going to be cool. Shout outs to my man Humpty, because he gave me the idea to do a book on bullies to begin with, and forever grateful to you for that, brother. But it's not the book that I'm really focused on. What I'm most focused on is my art process and giving you guys my most updated digital art process. And even more so, I wanted to talk to you about the 3 programs, my holy trinity of programs that I use right now to create projects and work on the projects that I've been working on lately. And you know, I've been doing a lot of projects lately. Like, I just dropped Broken Hearted Mogul in May, the illustrated romance book, and then I just dropped the road trip activity book, I believe last week. Available on Amazon. Shameless plug. So let's get into the video and let's talk about my digital art process, the 3 programs that I'm using right now, why I do what I do, and let's see if it works for you, or if parts of it works for you, or if none of it works for you at all. And you know, you cherry pick whatever you want from that. That being said, let's go. Alright, fam, it's a beautiful day out here in the neighborhood, and let's just get right into it. The very first program that I start off with on all my projects now is Clip Studio Paint. And the reason why I start off with Clip Studio Paint is because I love that pencil. The pencil is great. It's amazingly smooth. The right tactile response. The line on the screen looks great to me, and that's really something that's very important that artists should know. So the thing about it is that when you're working, whatever workflow that you work in, if you're a painter or digital artist, traditional artist, pencil, you always have to find the right tools that work and feel the most comfortable for you. And for me, the pencil on Clip Studio feels so comfortable, and it just works perfectly. And that's the reason why it's a part of my workflow, and that's the reason why Clip Studio is the #1 program that I use. Now let's kind of get into the actual process of creating the artwork that I create. So nowadays I really think about things in 3 different terms. I think about what the character, the main focus is going to be. It's going to be character based, background based, things like that. I do think about background, and then I do think about, well, what other elements can I add in the foreground to kind of add extra depth or feeling and things of that nature to the drawing. And that's one of the reasons why even in Clip I work in layers, because I want my characters on one layer. I want the background. I want to be able to draw through to see where the background is at, see if I need to push things, or maybe in the final drawing make the character bigger, smaller, just depending on what I draw in the background. And then obviously selecting a second layer or a third layer I should say, to put any foreground elements I think will really look cool and kind of push things back a little, maybe give a little bit more of a worldly feel to that work of art. And that's what I did in the picture that I did for the very first picture that I did for Bully Beach, in which I drew the dog Then obviously I drew the background, or just blocked in the background. And then I was like, I really want to put a dumbbell kind of in front of the dog's foot. So I could have just drawn it on the same layer, but I really want to have the dog separate so that if I want to use him separately later on, I don't have to like mask out anything, or then I have to draw a foot because I erased the foot because I drew the dumbbell in front. So what I just did, new layer, draw the dumbbell. Now it's already, I can see how everything is placed, how it looks, and I can already see where I may make changes moving forward and how the final product is going to look. So after I get finished drawing everything in Clip Studio and saving it as a clip file, I then export everything out as a PSD. Now I do realize that I honestly could just turn off the layers and save each individual image as a JPEG and clip. I don't know why I don't. I just don't. I take it into Photoshop and then save them out individually as a JPEG. I'm probably gonna have to amend that part of the process, but hey, it works for now. So once I have each individual layer exported out as a separate JPEG, so that means that I have a JPEG for the character image, I have a JPEG for the background, I have a JPEG for the main immediate foreground. I then take those files into Adobe Illustrator to ink them. And my process for inking my projects is I bring them in, make sure that I fit the artboard to size, to the right size of the artwork, and then I drop the opacity on that line art because I don't need it to be super duper bright when I'm going through ink process. Now, why do I use Adobe Illustrator and not stay in Clip or something else or go to Photoshop? And really what it comes down to is a couple years back I made a custom brush, and the line that I get out of that custom brush to this day, it just, to my eye, it just looks immaculate, and it really gets me excited when I'm working in the program and inking my work, and it just looks perfect to me. Maybe not to everybody else, but it looks great to me, and it makes me, it really just really brings the creativity, and I'm just used to working with it, and I understand all of its advantages and its shortcomings, and I have tailored my workflow to deal with both. So that's the reason why I ink in Adobe Illustrator. Now, here's the caveat with Adobe Illustrator. If you just do the ink line, and then of course you save it as an AI file or try to export it out as a PNG, that the interior inside the ink line is transparent. It's not filled. The next part of my process is to use my pencil tool to fill in my artwork. Now, if I know that the book is going to be a full color presentation, then I'm filling in full color. But if I'm doing a coloring book, I normally fill in using like a light blue or something like that to make sure I've got the fill all the way to the edges. And then I will just simply change that color to white and then export out as a PNG. And that is the main part, or the main crux of my creative process at that point. So once I've got everything exported out as a PNG, now I take it into Photoshop for assembly and any minor corrections I may have to make, which is probably the most fun part because I'm at the end of the project. But it's there, then I can kind of put the background in, put the character in, manipulate sizing, all that good stuff, put in the foreground element, manipulate size, make sure that's good, maybe tilt it a little bit. I can make all of those little changes that I like to make and make the artwork or the illustration work the best for me as an artist. And when I'm looking at it, I'm like, yes, that's it. That's really the crux of my workflow, and that's the reasoning, the thinking behind why I do what I do. Again, obviously there's always room for changes or adjustments or streamlining. That's with anything, but for me, that's really what works best for me and what gets me into the creative process and gets me going as an artist. Alright fam, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and again I just wanted to go over just that process, my digital art process, and I just really wanted you guys to know about my holy trinity of digital programs that I use: Clip Studio Paint, Adobe Illustrator, and then Adobe Photoshop. And I use them in different capacities. So will I ever change? Yes, I'm actually thinking about a certain change as far as coloring backgrounds, where I think I'll color them primarily in Photoshop. So I'm always doing and trying different things and trying to keep the workflow fresh and interesting and engaging. And I think that's something that you as artists should always try to do as well. I really want you guys to think about that and think about the things that you like, the things that you don't like. Do you have a pencil that you like? Is it maybe something in Procreate? Maybe it's something in one of these other programs, Krita or something like that? Or is there a pencil or a custom pencil you purchased for a clip that works for you? Or is it maybe you like to do everything exclusively in Photoshop? How does that workflow work for you? Hit me in the comments. Let me know. Let's have a discussion about it, because I think we learn a lot better when we talk to each other about the different things that we do, and we can always pull from each other as artists when we're talking and kind of communicating about the different things that we do as artists and different workflows and all that type of thing. But I just really wanted to give you guys a little insight, a little I guess inside baseball look at what I do, my workflow and everything like that. And I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. And if you did, hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. It's your boy DKG72. I'm out. Peace.